Now, guys, let's get to our speedy Week 14 NFL recap. And we're starting it off with the Lions beating the Cowboys 44-30. Kevin, I'm going to toss this one to you since you were just going at it with some Cowboys fans.
Belt to ass. I mean, this is what we're used to. We every week one Shaun posts the graphic of the Cowboys, and it's really, really good. Then it's we're winning the NFC Championship. Then it's we're winning the Super Bowl. Then it's the divisional round loss, and then it's the graphic. So hats off to the Lions. Everyone can't hold the Lions to 10 points.
And now this next game, Jaevon, is the Dolphins beating the Jets 34-10.
I had the Dolphins minus 2.5 in this game, so that was pretty easy. Had Adonai Mitchell on my. I'm just gonna put the word out here. I don't care about my fantasy team anymore. So
we know.
I've been dead.
Quitter
for about 3 to 4 weeks now. Is what it is.
I got the number 1 seed.
Made a couple of plays here and there, but yeah, it was belt to ass.
And I got this next game as the Steelers beat the Ravens 27-22. And the craziest stat that I saw from going into this game is that during their rivalry matchup, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are 15-15 against each other, and their average points is damn near even. And so I thought that was pretty crazy. The Ravens had a chance to win this one late, but then it gets called back. And the Steelers, they find a way. And now Pittsburgh's 7-6, Baltimore is 6-7. And I just keep looking at that AFC North, which we thought was going to be the best, one of the best divisions in football going into this season. And now a team with 9 wins, maybe 10 wins, ends up winning the division. And I just think, as a fan of a team in the NFC West, I just think, why couldn't my team be in a division like that? Because it would be a cakewalk to the playoffs. As Kevin, this next game that we're getting to is a shocker. The Saints beat the Buccaneers 24-20.
Dude, this game was a fucking crazy game. Tyler Shuck, I was just talking to one of my coworkers actually, and they were talking about this. He's a Saints fan. He's like, we're going to get a quarterback. I was like, dude, you just drafted Tyler Shuck. Like, give him a chance at least. Like, there's no way. Like, only Josh Rosen is the only quarterback to get drafted and replaced the next season. You draft a guy in the first round, you give him a chance. And for him to rush for 2 touchdowns and really just will this offense, they have nothing to play for. They're only playing to ruin teams' chances at the playoffs. So for them to come out and play the way they did is amazing. And it's amazing to see Chris Godwin back at full strength. Seeing that devastating leg injury was really sad, but to see him back on the field and doing his thing, the Bucs are always gonna be really good, just due to their division. I know we've been talking about divisions a lot in this episode, but because they are in that division, they're always gonna be really, really good. So they'll bounce back, of course, but this is definitely an ugly game. I feel like all the games were shitty weather this week.
Yeah, and that was a game that was played in Florida. Another one was in Jacksonville as the Jaguars beat the Colts 36-19. And the storyline coming out of this game is that Daniel Jones, he suffered a torn Achilles. He's out for the year. And it's just really sad because I think he already had like a fractured fibula and he was playing through it. So he's out there basically on a broken leg. And because he was already playing hurt, his body was basically overcompensating. And that's how he ended up suffering the Achilles injury. And it's really sad because this Colts team starts 7-1. Now they're 8-5. As you said earlier, it doesn't even look like they're going to win another game this season. And now they're bringing in old man Phillip Rivers, as we've been joking about throughout the podcast. So it's just really sad for the Colts because especially after the first season, since Jim Irsay, their longtime owner, passed away and he has his daughters running the franchise now, they went all in. And then the injury bug got to them, not only with Daniel Jones, but with one of their biggest acquisitions, Sauce Gardner. So it's really sad in Indy, but at least they have the Hoosiers, as this next game is a bit of a stinker, but it was a matchup of 2 of the top quarterbacks coming out of the draft this past season as the Titans beat the Browns 31-29.
God damn it. Shedeur Sanders is the man. He's the franchise quarterback. We've been saying that week in, week out. Watching that game live, I really think the NFL needs to investigate because they were down 14. They scored a touchdown, go for 2 for no reason, miss it when they could have just kicked the field goal and trust that you're going to get the ball back. And then if you get the ball back like they did and score a touchdown, you kick a field goal to tie the game. And then when you don't get the 2-point conversion, you go for it again, and you don't have Shedeur Sanders on the field, and you have Quinshon Judkins throwing across the field pass. I get it. This game is really the first 7 weeks. It really depends on what you do the first 7 weeks, and that will depend on what the rest of the season looks like. But they're blatantly tanking it. It's sad.
Yeah,
but Cam Ward got a second win of his career, so I'll do this for Toddy because I know he would do it if he was here.
Yep, Toddy had to step away for a moment, and the show must go on. As this next game, the Vikings beat the Commanders 31-0. And the significant thing about this is that the Vikings had just got shut out the week prior, and then for them to get a big shutout like this was impressive for a bounce-back game for them. The thing that was sad for me in this one is another injury, as Jaden Daniels just comes back from his second injury of the season, and he ends up going out hurt in this game as well. But, I mean, J.J. McCarthy, I guess he came to play in this one, 16 of 23 for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the biggest focus here is the Vikings defense. Too bad it's too late for them because that improved them to 5-8. As Kevin, a team that I'm worried about is the Seattle Seahawks, who beat the Falcons 37-9.
Dude, this game was like, 6-6 at halftime? I was like, oh, my God, this is the last thing the world needs is Kirkio swag surfing at home. Like, this is the last thing the NFL needs. We already got Jameis on NFL Fox giving speeches. The last thing we needed was a Kirkio W. But the Seahawks turned it up when they needed to. JSN, again, we're going to hit the offseason. We're going to do our rankings, and it's not crazy to say he's the best receiver in football. I know Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson have had really bad years. But when they have bad years, someone steps up and takes the crown. And if it's not JSN, it's probably Puka. So JSN's going to put himself in some interesting conversations towards the end of the year.
Where's JSN from?
The Ohio State University.
Yes, sir. Wide receiver U. And the craziest part about Jackson Smith and Jigba this season is I look back at that game that he had against the Texans where he absolutely cooked them. And yet we see how great this Texans defense has become. And for JSN to do that against them, it just kind of shows his greatness even further. As this next game that I'm getting to was a great one in Buffalo, another game that was hampered by the weather, but that's what you're going to get with December football. As in snowy Buffalo, New York, the Bills prevail against the Bengals 39-34. And the Bengals, they basically just coughed this one up. They're up 10 in the second half, and Josh Allen, he led a comeback charge in this one, and it was interesting because at halftime, it might have been Gronk, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but one of the analysts on the Fox Sports halftime show said, the Bengals are about to lose their last snowing game in Buffalo, and then they go on to win this one 39-34. And so I don't know if they had the TVs on in the locker room or something, but the Bills, they come back to beat the Bengals to move to 9-4, and the Bills really needed this win. So good for them. As you talk about investigations, Kevin, this next one might have needed a little bit of an investigation as well, as I alluded to at the jump. The Broncos beat the Raiders 24-17.
Dude, I mean, shit. Kicking a field goal when there's no point really raises a lot of eyebrows. This was another game that was closer than it needed to be. I come on here every week and say how bad I feel for Saquon Barkley. 15% of his runs are hit before he even gets to this line of scrimmage. But goddamn, Ashton Jeanty, man, he has such big hopes. And to see him play behind this abysmal O-line, the Raiders got to figure things out. But, I mean, the Broncos are one of the best teams in the NFL, and they show it week in and week out. They win ugly and they win pretty. So it's funny to see.
Yeah, I can't figure this Broncos team out because they're 11-2, but yet they are winning all these games just so closely. And as you alluded to, both of these games against the Raiders this season have just been way too close. Okay, they get the field goal late. It could have been double digits. But I think back to that game in Denver on Thursday Night Football when I think the Broncos won 10-7. And so it's like, okay, they're still winning games, but how is this going to look when they get to the playoffs? Nevertheless, Broncos win their 10th game in a row. As Grey Wolf is quite happy in the comments. He says, Vegas called, and then he sent a bunch of smiling emojis. As the next game was another good one. the Packers beat the Bears 28-21. And I wish Toddy was here to talk about this one because his boy, Caleb Williams, a top 15 quarterback in the NFL since his junior year in college, he was driving in this one and it looked like he was going to lead the Bears to another game-winning drive, but then he threw a red zone interception as Keyshawn Nixon came in and won the game for the Packers. And this was good for the 49ers, the fact that the Packers won this game, knocked the Bears down. But now that I think about it, it's like, okay, the Bears could have been 10-3, Packers would have been 3-2 or 8-4-1, excuse me. But it was a great game nonetheless. The NFC North is arguably the best division in football this season, and this game kind of just showcased that. And so it was a great one. Speaking about another great division, the NFC West, the Rams beat up on the lowly team in the NFC West as they went to Arizona and beat the Cardinals 45-17.
Dude, for 1 week it's Devontae Adams. Next week it's Puka Nacua. Then it's Blake Corum and Kyren Williams. They have a lot of things going for them. And it's fair to say that Matthew Stafford should win MVP. I don't think he will. I think one of the new shiny toys might, as in being Bo Nix and Drake May, just because of what they're doing for the teams. The Rams are always pretty good. But to see the Patriots and Broncos at the top of the division, like we always joke about, you think Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are playing. But the Rams continue to find out ways to win games, and they're hot right now. They're the best team in the NFC for a reason.
Yep, that hits the nail on the head